there's so much going on that there's there's centuries of change in 3 to 4 years that's going to happen. And yes, uh, there'll be a lot of bad things, but a lot of the bad things is a sacrifice for the good that's going to come out of it.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's good to be here finally. It has been a long time.
I've wanted to have you on the podcast for a very long time now, so I'm quite interested to get into this because the importance of the topics we're about to talk about is something that the viewers need to learn or be open to. So let's start off with who you are, what you do, and how you got into all of this to start off with.
Big question. Um, so I am a soul medium, which is one of the many types of different psychics that are out there. Do healing work as well, and basically here for the collective and to help souls connect and be who they truly need to be. And yes, I do carpentry work, bathrooms, and all the rest of that. I've written some books, and that's I have written 3 books, and the new book that I'm writing is From Tradie to Psychic and In Between Worlds, and it's my entire journey of how I kept avoiding my spiritual stuff, all the signs that I've had, um, many many different readings that are just mind blowing. Like I look back and go, "Wow, did that really happen?" And you know, to me, it's I'm just the channel. I'm the medium. I'm the one in between that feel or get told the message and I just deliver. And it's just a normal conversation. And I feel talking to spirit for me is a lot easier than having a conversation. And
Yeah.
so my 5-year-old, I could, when he was born, I could talk to him better spiritually uh, because he never spoke till he was 3. So
That's
for me,
amazing.
that's normal.
Yeah.
For most people, it's not normal. I understand.
Could you give us sort of like a brief idea to how you connect? Because you mentioned you talk to your 3-year-old spiritually. What do you mean by that?
So I physically feel other people's things. Um, and up until literally this year, everyone I walked around, I could feel and sense them straight away. And something happened after my father passed, and then I was like cut off, and it was like only whenever I was doing readings I'd get information, which is really good, but I can't believe how quiet it is. Like it is insane. Like, can you imagine walking around a very busy shopping center all the time and you can hear everyone's feelings and thoughts?
Wow.
Up until January this year, my whole life was like that.
Yeah.
And it's so weird that that's like turned off.
Do you think that
And
has anything to do with, we don't want to say the word, but the flu that's going around?
no, it is my own spiritual development. It is now time to share with what I've known, get information out there, help the collective in a bigger way.
Mm.
And one on one is great, but helping a bigger audience to get people to connect to themselves, to their soul, to get that energy flowing and not live in fear. There's so many little tiny things you can do, but a lot of people won't even do 1 or 3. Like it's like crazy. But unfortunately, it's not until people are on the brink of like death, health, injuries, whatever it is, they don't do anything. And we're at the precipice now of a big change. And I'm talking like COVID is nothing to what's coming. And hence why I'm here right now to, I guess I wouldn't call it educate, to guide people and say, look, do these little things when you need. If your time's not now, you can watch this video at any time. And as I said to you,
Mm.
people, you've got subscribers and all that. Save this, watch it later when you're ready. If it's not now, just don't forget it because everyone will need to know what to do, how to cope, how to get through the worst things in life.
So, we are going through turbulent times. There's talk about the banks shutting down, needing to invest in gold and silver, food shortages. Why don't we sort of dive into that first and talk about, what you foresee that's happening in the future? And then from there, we can tell the audience how to guide them through and navigate through this process.
Yeah, there's we'll start with one first. There's always positives with everything. Yes, we will all go to digital currencies and I want to call it the entities that are running the world. There's basically 4 entities that control, that dictate to them, and then the governments are not really important, really. Governments are a pawn like us, but it's these 4 entities that are, I call them satanic aliens. That's just what they are. But when I say that, people go, oh, whatever, So it is what it is. They're the ones that control and manipulate things to elevate people. Now, this is about lifting our consciousness, lifting our gifts, getting us all connected, telekinesis and everything,
Yeah.
In 3 years, it's going to be mind-blowing how fast, or 3 to 4. I got in trouble for saying 3. So there's so much going on that there's centuries of change in 3 to 4 years that's going to happen. And yes, there'll be a lot of bad things, but a lot of the bad things is a sacrifice for the good that's going to come out of it.
Yeah, that's right.
If you focus on 2027, knowing everything is going to be really good and all this bullshit, aliens, satanic, the things that are controlling and want to control and go back to Egyptian slavery, that will all be gone by then. It doesn't mean it's going to be beautiful, but that will be the beginning of the new way. And it won't be their new way. It'll be our new way, and it'll be abundant and love and connection, and the communities will flourish. It'll be pretty amazing, but it might not be amazing for some that like to be isolated and live alone. So
yes, well, what I was going to ask you is that you mentioned if we don't do the energy work, unfortunately, we won't make it. Is that got to do with this future you're mentioning now? And is some people going to miss out?
that's got to do with the 3D and 5D. That's not G, that's a vibration, right? So about 3 years ago, I was told spiritually through my guides that around 3 million or 30 million people are going to pass away, right? And that's part of a sacrifice for the elevation of mankind. And last year, I was actually told that I heard that wrong, and I also wasn't ready to hear what the figures were, but it was more around 30%. Now, other people say that we're going to lose like 80, 90% of the population. If you look at Nostradamus and all the other books, and I don't really read that much at all.
I've heard of that for some years now, something about 90% of the population, right? Yeah.
And that's what Bill Gates and all that would love, But my estimate is around 30%. Now, if you look at that, you got more than 50% that live in poverty anyway.
Yeah.
The people in poverty are the ones that are elevated, that are really good. The whole tables are gonna flip, basically. So if the elites think they're up here, and you got middle class and lower class, everything is gonna flip, and that's what's gonna happen.
The truth will be shown. Greed, money, success.
Yep.
All of that is not the point of why we're here. And so those who have suffered, who have used heart for everything in their life and are trying their hardest to get through life in such a humble way, are the ones who are going to be successful in the end.
Yes, but it's not really about successful. It's just about to be able to actually prosper with love, to create communities, to teach and educate people the right way. You know, I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way, right? Because there's just a way right now of what it is. You know, every suburb is different, every location, city, they're all different. But there's so much disconnection, and that's what they want. They don't want people to connect. And I'm not talking about mobile phones, internet, through gaming, through however people connect. I'm talking about spiritually connect. They've been doing it for centuries to get people not to connect to spirit.
Okay, so for a typical person like myself, I'm on my spiritual journey. I like exploring the unknown and getting answers to things like this in this podcast. For someone similar to me or someone on their journey, what does it look like them to protect their energy and do the energy work? Where do we start?
The first, like, for starters, I want to put a disclaimer out there because there are unlimited ways that we can do work. Whether, you know, I just use it, do work. I mean, to connect, to protect, to change our energy and all that, right? Energy is always around us, everywhere, okay? But when we focus on it and we channel it and we do it in certain ways and direction, it can shift our energy, our flow, and get us more connected, right? So our body is a physical body, and our soul uses our body to, I guess, grow is what I want to call it. When we get through emotional things in life, our muscles hold that energy, and then it affects us in our body, in our organs, liver, kidney, brain, heart, like everything. Then the more we take on, then we get illnesses, diseases, and things. If we don't shift that and release it, then it manifests and grows and causes these issues. So yes, it is potentially, we can heal absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. You can call it our brain. I say our brain, mind, soul connection. The belief that we need to have and the faith we need to have that anything is possible. Anything is possible. I know what I've gone through in my life, and people go, you know, a lot of people don't believe it.
I love that. Maybe we could even share that story for the viewers watching so they get a bit of an idea on belief and changing your mindset. Yeah.
So the first step, the most important thing is to know, I believe, is our soul energy comes in, and it's also our feminine energy comes in our left palm. Okay. So when we're walking around a shopping center, I use a shopping center, by the way, because everyone can walk into a shopping center. And if you're an empath, you feel all the craziness and you don't want to be around all the negative and all the busy people and all of that. And then you take it on and then you feel that.
Yeah.
When we learn how to protect that and know how it flows, that's just step 0.0001. But for most people, that is like life-changing.
Yeah.
So crystal bracelets on your wrist, okay? Black tourmaline, obsidian, jasper, jade, all those kind of protection kind of crystals. There's so many out there. Everyone's a bit different, but they're the main ones that are good. Wear a crystal bracelet on your wrist and then go into a shopping center if you've never worn one and see if that energy that you feel when you walk around drops. Because for me, and for 99% of people that I read, it cuts around 70% of that energy out. Okay. So then we're not taking it on. Now, you don't have to use crystal. You can grab a green leaf from outside, hold it in your left hand. most people would rather wear a crystal bracelet than a green leaf walking around. But hey, doesn't worry me. I could carry a plant around the shop, it wouldn't worry me. So knowing that energy comes in here is the first step.
Okay.
Most people's energy goes straight to their head if they overthink, overanalyze, or overworry, or they go to their stomach. And their stomach is where their worry, guilt, and shame resides. And that's from either this life or past life, things that they've taken on. And then that becomes like their emotional brain, which everyone's heard of. Your stomach is your emotional side of your brain and all that. And when you live from there, that's where you live. Worry, guilt, shame. First step is to bring the energy in that you want, right? You've also got to know where you're at now, so then you can feel the change when things change. Okay. So there's so much to unpack, but basically, if you scan your body, if you relate to colors, look at your head. What color's in your head? Is it a bad color, a good color, loving, whatever? Check your throat, check your heart, check your stomach, and check your genitals, right? They're the main areas. Yes, you can look at them as chakras. I don't really focus on that because there are a lot of chakras, not just the 12 that most people focus on. So if you check that, then you write them down. Then when you do some energy work, I'm talking 3 minutes of energy work. That's it.
Yeah.
That color will change most of the time, like more than 90% of the time. You've also got to check where your energy is flowing. A lot of people can't do that themselves, which is why, they get a reading and go, oh, what's going on? And then that kind of explains what's happening. But the main thing is know where you're at, then bring the energy in. So you focus, say, imagine that's a green leaf, okay? You're holding a green leaf, you breathe it in into your heart, and then just say it was a black sludge in your heart. I'm just putting it out there. And then you release the black sludge out your heart, from your heart, out your right hand. Make sure your hand is down, okay? You don't want it at anybody because then you're passing it on. So green Mother Earth energy into your heart, release the black sludge or whatever's in there out your right hand. If everyone in the world did that, our whole world would just completely change.
And how many times would you recommend someone do this?
I believe everyone should do it every single day.
Okay.
Twice a day would be really good. So yeah.
And visualization would go hand in hand. So you're imagining, the lights or the great energy from this green leaf or rock or bark or whatever it is that you want to use that's from nature. Let it travel through to your heart. When it gets there, do you need to imagine like darkness leaving through your right hand facing down so as not to pass it on to other people?
Yeah, it's always a benefit. You don't have to, it doesn't matter. The main focus on, we always have to fill up first. So some people can take, I don't know, 3 different times before they can start releasing. Obviously, when you're with someone who does healing work, they can increase that flow. Doing it alone is obviously, not as I don't want to use the word powerful, but
I know what you mean, because you'd be thinking in your mind like, is this working? And then that goes into your thoughts and perceptions, and that's what you were talking about earlier. So
with that comment, when you overthink and you're thinking about it, if only you go green in or brown, whatever color you feel from Mother Nature. So green and brown in, and if you get nothing out, just say crap out. So green in, crap out, or whatever you feel that it is, or say nothing. You just say, I just want to fill up with green and release anything that's unwanted.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't like that, Mother Earth in. It doesn't matter, apart from it has to be for you. Meaning, if you don't want to connect to Mother Earth, well, there's no point doing it, because
Yeah.
Mother Earth is pure love. If you look at all the elements of the world, um, that's what it is. People go to the beach. Beach is cleansing, the water's cleansing, but it doesn't ground you.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And you mentioned, Mark, about was it 432 hertz? Let's talk
yep.
about that and the importance of it.
So 432 hertz is a vibrational sound, and the universal, the people who control everything changed the instrument tuning. So people used to have all their instruments tuned to 432 hertz, and they
Mm.
actually changed that. So then people were not connected to Earth. I know Prince, the singer, always tuned all his instruments in 432, and there's other singers that also do the same. Not many
Yeah.
people today at all tune it. Now, there's YouTube videos out there. You can compare the different, and when you hear it, I can feel the difference from normal musical instrument tuning and your 432 tuning instruments. And that alone should be mind blowing for people to go, wow, there's a huge difference.
I just had
And
an aha moment. Do you know when you listen to a song and you feel fantastic that you get the goosebumps just all over your body? Does that have
yeah,
something to do with 432 hertz?
maybe it could
Mm.
just be the message that's in that as well.
Yeah, right.
But there's
Okay.
not many people that tune their instruments to that.
So most of pop culture are using a different vibration that is, would you say,
Yes,
damaging?
yes, because it's to not get people to connect.
And so would you recommend that people look out for the music they listen to, maybe even turn off the music they listen to? What would you say?
Yeah, it's to me, it's as bad as watching the news.
Mm. And that's something also that I've done for a few years now. I don't watch the news, I don't watch the TV because I've realized how much anxiety that would bring into my life. And I used to not want to even leave the house because I was afraid I was going to get COVID and die. And so
Yeah,
this went on for a while. I had to shut off the news. It was too much. But
yeah,
since then, life's been 100-fold, way better than what it was before. So I would automatically urge the viewers watching here to, shut off your TV, even if it's for like a week or a few days, just to get into the rhythm of things. And yeah, and as Mark said, watch what you listen to in the music. Start researching for yourself, especially get into 432 hertz. And with that, that also would go, hand in hand with meditation. Is that something that you also would recommend?
yeah. There's so many things. So obviously, energy in to fill up, releasing what you hold. Okay, there's many ways you can do that. Once you've cleared everything, then your whole center, you can have your energy come in on a 360 degrees and out, but not until we're in true alignment that will happen. Other things we can use is an axis mundi, which is basically a stick. When people hold this, they go, wow. And it's like just a stick. It connects from down below and above. And if you go bushwalking, you pick up a stick, walk with it, it just changes our connection.
Mm,
Walk bare. I'm barefoot a lot, a lot.
yeah.
Um, I hate wearing shoes. So
Yeah, I agree. I don't walk barefoot very often as I should. I do let my kids though, because I know that there's something about your children, putting the energy into them to understand it's okay not to wear shoes because you're teaching them to ground. You're teaching them to be more in tune with their childlike self. And that I think is something that we should take on board as adults is to be more childlike, look into all of these things. But yeah, I do agree that grounding is very important. And as you said, there's many ways of doing it. The stick, the crystal, with the leaf, obviously barefoot. Could you elaborate a little bit on when you mentioned that going to the beach doesn't ground you?
The water is more for cleansing, not for grounding.
Mm.
So yes, it can help cleanse and release, but you won't get the Mother Earth connection because the water is the opposite to the earth. It is a um, kind of disconnection or flow, it's that kind of look at it with food and water, water cleanses and flushes and food is different.
Mm. Yeah, right. Okay, that
Probably
makes
not
a
a
lot of
good
sense.
I was going to say it might not be a good explanation.
Okay, so I wanted to dive into where you mentioned trusting in spirit, and not having fear. How can the viewers here watching understand how to connect, and start that relationship?
Just like I say, holding something from Mother Nature in your left hand, holding it for 15 minutes a day, going for a walk, that starts a connection. Now, I call all these little things little experiments. It's like when 5G got turned on during COVID. I did little experiments during the lockdowns. Like I'm only about a kilometer from Westfield.
Mm,
And if I walk out on the road, I can see it and I can feel when they turned it on, I could feel the actual 5G and
yeah.
it killed 15 trees in our whole street. Okay,
No
in 2 weeks.
way.
And people can say it's a conspiracy, whatever. 15 trees in one street in like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Mm,
Anyway, if you have a look, now they cut down trees around near 5G towers in certain areas because that's what it does. Certain trees it will actually connect and attack, and they won't grow. So some will. So if you actually look at the details, there's all got to do with how shallow the roots are and other things like that. So yeah, it's not good. And I tried Shanghai crystals. I tried um, different crystals, different things from Earth, different protections. The
mm,
thing that worked for me, I felt the strongest was programming a clear crystal quartz. So your normal
right.
clear crystal quartz, okay? $3, maybe $1 if you're lucky,
Mm,
not expensive. There's no excuse. You cleanse it, you talk to it, you tell it, oh, that it lasts for about a month. So on the full moon, you cleanse and then you tell it, look, I want you to protect me against the 5G or whatever you want to do. It can be
mm.
anything. You tell it and then you hold it in your left pocket, put it in your left bra if you wear a bra. Um, However you want to do it. Got to be on the left because that's where the energy comes in.
Yeah,
So
energy comes
left
in through the
hand.
left.
Yep.
Okay.
So I did all those experiments. To me, the clear quartz worked the best when it was programmed. Then your Tesla plates. Um, then you've got your Shanghai crystal, and then other things after that. That's for me my experience from what went through during lockdown, and it was great. That's how we learn, experiment to check what is best for us. It's like if someone has cancer in their body, there's thousands of different ways we can remove it. They're just I look at it as an infection. We need
Mm.
to cleanse and release that attachment if we want to keep holding it, but it's not going to go away.
Yeah, because how I've viewed it and what I've learned, is that we are energy. Our bodies are made up of energy. And if that energy becomes stagnant or stuck, that's where disease comes in. And so when you mention to let the energy in and let the energy flow, that is helping to rid yourself of illness, disease, whatever you've got going on. But it's something that I believe you will have to do repetitively, and also train the mind to understand that you are a powerful being, get that embedded into you, and to sort of unlearn what we've learnt throughout our lives, and to start learning new ways of living and knowing that you are powerful, you are energy. And so it's time to learn how to move and let it flow through us.
And your environment is everything. Like when you go home, are you going home to someone where you're renting? Do you live with someone that is toxic?
Mm.
We all balance each other out. So if you have to protect yourself at work and at home, that drains your energy.
Yeah.
So you've got to implement more things to elevate yourself more. Go for the walks, go for the connection, do your qigong energy work, your tai chi. So quickly, your hands, you draw it in and push it out. Energy in and out. There's so many ways we can do it. Connecting is number one.
Yeah, beautiful. I just want to say thank you for, sharing all of this information and your guidance and your wisdom, because many people out there right now are looking for these answers. And I feel it's so important right now to talk about these things. But I wanted to sort of switch gears a little bit here and let the viewers know a little bit about Mark, what experiences you have had, um, and just give them an idea to how you know what you know and where it all began, starting by the first time you realized you had these abilities.
I would say when I was 8, I was at the local pool in the country town, and I remember it took me years afterwards to actually really understand what happened. And if you look at it psychologically, that actually is true. The longer a major event, you can actually see it more clearly as time passes. And so I pushed someone in as I was trying to find my sister because I wanted to get some food or a drink or something. And I was only 8, and she was 8 or 10 years older than me. I don't actually know. And I thought it was funny because I was a kid. And then was looking for her. I was looking in the deep end of the pool. It was only a 25-meter pool. And then they pushed me back in, because they didn't want to get in the pool because it was too cold. But I thought it was funny, so I pushed them in, as you do.
Yeah.
And then they pushed me in, and I couldn't swim. So just never really learnt at that time, being in a country town a long way away from the beach or anything like that. And I went down head first, and I just remember they called out to my sister. They didn't realize I couldn't swim. And then she jumped in, and she was about a foot away. She couldn't reach me. And then her friend Jody reached in and grabbed me. And by then, like, I was above the water looking at everything going on. And I know that the back of my head hit the bottom of the pool, and like I could hear the dong. It was really weird. And but I was still watching all this happening. But I was calm, relaxed, wasn't breathing. I was just like that, like you know how you go in shock and like you do nothing. And then grabbed me, pulled me out, and I was sitting on the edge of the pool, and they're like, he's not breathing, and he's not coughing water, and then I've seen other people run and get like the person who runs the pool and all that, and they thought they'd have to do resus on me, and I was as normal. I was like, yeah, no, I'm fine. I don't know what you're doing. So that happened, but like I said, it didn't happen until like weeks, months, years later that I realized what actually happened, and they couldn't also believe that I didn't swallow any water.
When that
So,
happened, and thank you for sharing, that's quite amazing. I have a question that I'd like to ask. When you came out of your body and you saw yourself and you saw all the things going on, did you ever think, oh shit, I'm dead?
no, I just thought that was normal because before that, um, I've gone out at night time in the stars, and I just, whether you want to call it pray or talk to God or what the creator, whatever, I did that a lot, and especially through high school, I did that to survive because you know, life wasn't very nice. So,
So do you mean you would leave your body often, like astral travel?
well, it felt like a daydream, is what I would call it.
Mm.
Like my imagination, like if someone says something, I can visualize it straight away, or I can go to wherever that is. I can give me a map and I can, you know, imagine being there. All those things that pictures, like that's how I got through uni. Like
That
when I was
sounds like
35.
remote viewing.
So yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But like I finished grade 10, I finished school, got a D in English, never read a full book ever.
And here you are now with your own book,
And
which is amazing.
yes, yeah. So um taught my, like the different theirs. I didn't know. I just everything was THERE. And I was
Mm.
31. I think I was 31 at the time. I read my first adult book of my life. And
Mm.
then a month after that, I started a psychology degree. So, you know, now I have a psychology degree and a Gestalt therapy graduate certificate. But that to me helped me understand that we can do anything. Like,
Right. That's a very good example of that you can do anything that you put your mind to and your energy to. And
yeah,
I'm sitting here as I'm listening to you. I wonder if some divine message came into your life to say this is what you need to do now because it all makes sense. Everything that you do, like getting that psychology degree, is obviously going to help you with your spiritual work as well. So, do you believe that you were guided to do this?
um, a few months or a year or so before uni, I had a reading, and she goes, "Oh, you're going to go back to school and do something, you know." And I went, "Yeah, whatever. I never want to go. Never ever. Like, you know, you'd have to kill me before I'd go back to school. You know, I call uni school. It's still a school. Never wanted to go." And she goes, "Look, you can go. You'll do it. And if you do it, um, it's not whether you'll benefit from it or not benefit. You won't use it as such, but it's just something to do to pass time." And looking back now, like even when I went through it, it was like it helped me stop ignoring my spiritual gifts. And that was a moment. And it was in my third year. I believe it was in March, April, uh, 9 years ago. Um, I was sitting at a computer desk doing an assignment, and I seen this word. It was, I don't remember what it was. It started with PH, and it was like really long. It was like, you know, more than 10 letters. And then I seen this ambulance. I was like, what the hell? And it was um, next to me, there was a guy on a computer. And what I seen was the ambulance and the word above it. And I was like, well, that's what I seen. Okay. To me, that was the last point that I actually went, I can't ignore this anymore. Um, Definitely spiritual, definitely connected, can definitely see things and connect. Um, and although before then I did healings for people, um, I still wasn't truly a believer, even though for 25 years I kind of knew, but still denied it. So I look at
Mm.
it, if it took me more than 25 years to embrace my spiritual side, and in the last 3 years, we're expecting people to change, that's huge. Like it took me
Mm.
25 years and I already knew since I was a kid to change, to connect, to do what we can all connect. We all have to connect.
And that's something that I wanted to ask you as well. Like, how do we know? So, like you said, for instance, you can walk into a shopping center and you can feel these energies. Is there any way that you can put into language for us to understand how we could do do that as well? How could we understand energies? Is this something that we need to practice?
The first thing is not to ignore it. So I know I can tell you many, many stories, but I walked into a shopping center and there was a husband and partner. She was pregnant. She probably only had weeks to go, and the baby was in distress. And I picked it up and I was like, well, do I tell her? And then I was asking my guys, why tell me this? But I felt everything anyway. So it wasn't why tell me this. It was, okay, do I tell her or not tell her? Because telling her can be impactful as much as not telling her. So I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'm still learning whether I tell people things or not tell people things, because I used to tell everyone everything. So when I go to a place and I got a message, I just tell them. And, I watch the TV shows and they make it look all pretty and lovely, 99% of people do not want to know. People don't want to know that you can read. They don't want to know your intimate. I get told and feel information of people that they don't want anyone in the world to know. So, like, I sat in a plane next to my wife and there was a priest. We were flying to Cairns, and this was, I don't even know when it was. I don't know, 8 to 12 years ago. And back then, I felt like I always had to touch people to read them. Okay. It's probably, I don't know how long ago, but it doesn't matter. So I was telling my story and he goes, yeah, being he was actually high up in the Catholic church. He said, we're not allowed to talk about it, but all this is, all this psychic stuff is all real, but we can't say that to the public. All the rest of it, in short, because obviously for many, many reasons why they can't, they might lose their community. But I didn't touch him. I knew straight away after I said that what he was doing when he was younger to boys, And yes, you can say, oh, that's normal. Well, it's not normal. Only if you do it. Obviously, I don't need to say what it is, but I was also told that he hasn't done it since he went through that phase. So to me, that was okay. I've read people that have raped, that have been abused, that have killed, and all the rest of it. They've gone through their stuff and they've moved on. He also moved on, but he still holds that within him. And then when we finished the plane and we arrived, I shook his hand because he thought I don't know anything because I'm not touching him. Shook his hand and his whole face went white. And my wife seen him and it was like, oh. And that's when he knew that I knew what he didn't want me to know.
Yeah, that's dangerous game. Yeah.
And that's when it was like, hey, I don't need to touch people to read. Then when I did, because back then every week I was doing a live readings. I was doing, 30 to 50 readings on thing. And I used to come get them on a video call like this. It was a video.
Yeah, I saw that on your YouTube channel. Yeah.
And put them on, and then that stopped working because spirit interferes with technology big time, right? Because mediumship, so when you're talking to past loved ones, which is mediumship, they interfere even more, right? But anyway, so when the video stopped working, then I used voice, okay? Then within 2 weeks after that, the voice didn't work. And I went, okay, well, I have to do a text message, right? Until you get forced into a situation, into a corner, into whatever it is, you don't know what's possible. I never knew. It was like, how is that possible? I'm just reading his message or her message. Oh, that's what they're going through. Oh, then I'd see it. I don't like writing, handwriting or typing. Voice to text, fantastic if it actually was accurate. But writing is my worst enemy. I don't know how I got through uni. I channeled a lot of it, I'm sure. But until we're put into that situation, anything's possible.
Yeah.
I know some of the things, like, you can get through anything if you're stuck.
I want to now go back to where you mentioned, okay, so if you want to talk about this, that would be awesome. If not, let me know, I can edit. But I wanted to bring you back to when you mentioned that there were alien satanic influences in the
Yep.
world. Would
Yep.
you care to elaborate on that?
In short, there's 4 satanic aliens. There's many different aliens. There's good and bad. And I'm talking extremely bad, like the worst. You can look at it as multi-universes if you wanted to. Movies are great for trying to get people to come up with terms and words and explain what's going on, right?
Mm,
So it's not just us. There's many other things out there. Whether there's other Earths and other things in line, doesn't matter. Who cares, really? But I don't like going off track, but I always go off track, unfortunately. But these things want to have the Earth for them. They want us to build all the infrastructure, so then they can wipe out 90% of us, and then the 10% will be their slaves, will be their robots. That is the ultimate plan. However, the other alignment, because not all 4 of them are so bad, some of them believe that they're doing good, that they're actually elevating and changing the world. But their most thing is to try and get the elites to do all this bad stuff to wake more people up.
yeah, and I believe that, you know, they may think that they're winning by doing all this negative energy work, or, you know, all this dogma and all of the conditioning that's been going on for most of our lives. It's actually doing good because we're waking up, we're seeing
Yep.
what's going on, and we want to fight back, essentially. And so that's why this entire podcast is really important, because we want to learn how to protect our energy. We want to learn how to get in touch. We want to learn how to be true to ourselves and figure out more about the importance of who we are and the power that we hold within each one of us. So, in essence, I really do feel like with all this negativity that's been going around, that is the key to waking us up. And we do live in a dualistic world, you know, you can't see the light unless you've gone through the darkness, right? So I really do truly believe and hope that all of this negativity going on right now is going to awaken many, many more people to start the fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of this podcast, I guess. I think that was very informative. We'll have to work with you many more times and have some new updates, some new information, help us further along the journey. And also, for the viewers who are watching today, if they want to get in contact with you for some soul work, how can they reach you?
Best to head to the website soulmedium.com.au.
Awesome, awesome. And with your work, are you able to work via Zoom? Is that something you can do for people who are in America or Canada or over the globe?
Yeah, most people anywhere in the world. Like, I did a reading for a dog. He put his dog down and he was emotional the next day and was like already emotional. It was like, I just want to know he's okay. And I went, well, let me see what comes up. And then I had a picture and the dog always sat there and it was like a little terrier. And I said, your dog's still around. It's okay. And he's showing me that he likes to cuddle and snuggle here. And then he just like was bawling. He was like, oh, yeah, that's what he loves to do. Anyway, kept going, going, going. And I said, the most important thing to know is that he was there for a purpose. And he's giving me an image of when you first met. Oh, And there was a litter of pups. There was 7, and the mum was there. And it was like the runt of the litter. And it looked up, and it had the puppy dog eyes. And you being the guy who was reading for. And you looked at each other, and you had that moment, and it was like love at first sight.
Wow.
And when I shared that, he couldn't talk. So his partner got on, so I get goosebumps. His partner got on and said, yeah, he's okay. He just can't talk. He just needed to know that the dog was okay. And in my head, I'm going, man, it's a dog and you're really emotional. Like, doesn't worry about me. It's like, that's what he needed.
And so for those of you watching, we've now just learned that animals do cross over to the other side.
Yes. There's a lot.
That's
But yeah.
beautiful. Did you want to give a quick example as to what you do? Does anything come through for you when you talk to me? Is that something you'd want to do, or is that something some other time?
I haven't got too much from you as much. I know that there's stuff that can't be shared, which is what I feel it has to be an in-person one.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I got to meet you. I've got to meet up with you as well one day because I think it'll be really fun.
I know that you overprotect yourself, as a lot of people do, and you have that shield, and you know what that's from anyway, that extra protection. So we all need to be safe, and hence the energy work doing that. It's our safety. Don't take on other people's stuff, but learn to take it on safely when you want it. And crystals, they are there as a tool. Okay. So we use them and we take them off. So just as a summary, wear your crystal bracelets. I wear them as show really for now, right? Because, you're not walking the walk, whatever. So I don't need crystals, but we use them as a tool. So you walk into the shopping center, you've got the crystals on, feeling protected. A few minutes later, you take them off. Then you're going, okay, I can handle this. And then you'll get a bit of feedback off people. Oh, well, they're having a bad day. Oh, they're having a good day. And that's how we learn, experimentation. When it gets too much, you put them back on. Go, oh, that cuts out so much. The more you do that, the more you train your subconscious or unconsciousness and how your energy flows. And as you're walking, you feel the energy coming in and out. And as you naturally bring the energy in and out, when you're walking, the energy flows. When your energy flows, you're more open. That's how you naturally learn how to protect. And then if things are bad, if you don't have any crystals or anything, just hold a fist in your left hand, put it in your pocket. You're cutting out the energy of what you want to take on. Or just say, look, I'm protecting myself. Words in our thoughts and our own, just think it. They're just tools, They're great tools, but we don't need to have them. It just makes things easier to understand the difference of having and not having.
Awesome.
Hopefully that helped.
Oh, definitely. You've helped in so many ways, and I cannot wait to share this video. So with that being said, it's been a pleasure having you here today, Mark.
Thank you. No problem. Have a good day.